Welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here live from the CHPA conference with Robbie Morris from Software Answers. We're having a good time, Robbie. How you doing?
Amen. Where else would you want to be?
Nowhere. Can you believe they called us working? I mean, this is a job, people.
Amen.
You know, was this in your job description when you took this gig?
They wouldn't let me wear it at work.
This
is the only place I get to look good.
They wouldn't hire you if you wore this on an interview, but if you don't wear it at a conference, you're not doing your job. Isn't that ironic?
That's very
Are
odd.
we setting people up for success these days? That's what I ask you all. You know, it's like, why don't we be clear about what the job entails when they have you in for the interview, huh?
I could go on and on and on about that.
He's like, I didn't sign up for any of this, to be honest with you. Get in the comments, everybody. Let us know you're out there. Give us your name, your company, where are you from. If you got questions for Robbie, he's got Software Answers.
Oh, that's a great.
You like how I did that? You like that? That's a T-shirt. Get into the mic over here.
It's almost as good as the insurance company that's right next to us that says, "Are you using protection?
Are you using protection?"
That's brilliant.
Welcome to Mardi Gras, y'all. Get in there. Richard Majewski says, anyone else here? I don't know, Richard. Is it? I don't know. I'm in a room full of people, Richard. You're in the UK right now. What's for dinner? Let us know. How's your conference going?
Surprisingly well, actually. The COVID years were difficult for us to get traffic.
That's an understatement.
Yeah,
the COVID years were difficult. It was a hard time.
We've had quite a bit of activity at the booth. Great opportunities to talk to some of our existing clients, and pleasantly surprised with new leads.
Nice. New beads or new leads?
Both. Got
okay.
Them both. Where else can you get both but Mardi Gras?
Leads and beads. Most beads come with a lead, I found. So let's talk about leads. So we're talking about new business here. What type of business are you in, and what does Software Answers do for people?
So we are the big fish in a very small pond of corporate housing software. We offer full general ledger accounting and reservation management programs.
Okay, so not only the booking, but you take care of the money too.
We are the only ones that do all of the money, with the exception of your payroll. We're the only one that has fully integrated accounting, and it's built by people who know corporate housing.
Now, why? We got people checking in. We got Richard checking in, Audrey. Get in the comments. Let us know your comments, your questions. If you got questions for Robbie or me, or what the heck are you guys doing? Whatever you're on your mind, just put it in the comments. Hit that like button, please. Amsterdam's in the house. London town's in the house. This is great. Jana's killing that. She's just absolutely crushing it right now. We got people who are sitting in the green room, wearing green outfits, crushing these sandwiches. So why is it important that people integrate their general ledger in their software, their booking software?
Well, think of QuickBooks. QuickBooks can only report on and act on the data that you feed into it.
What do they say about that? Crap in, crap out, something like that?
Well, crap in for sure. Crap out, yes, absolutely. There's an awful lot of financial information that you can't see about your business just by using QuickBooks. You've really got to go to a fully integrated system so you can get revenue on different parts of your reservations, a lot more detail on where your costs and where you're spending your money. You just can't do that as well in other systems.
All right. We've got questions coming in. You ready to take some questions?
I'll do my best with them.
All right. We're going to do our best, people. That's all we ever do here. Okay. If you're watching this now, I'm sure you've watched this before. You know that we just do our best. So bear with us. Keep those questions coming. Apparently, did you know it's Pancakes Day today in the UK? Shrove Tuesday. That does not sound nearly as good as Mardi Gras.
Well, I looked that up the other day because it was an answer to one of the little trivia questions they had for what is Fat Tuesday in England, and it's Shrove Tuesday.
Shrove Tuesday.
Yeah, it has something to do with some old tradition where people go and confess their sins, and they're considered shriven.
Shriven?
Yeah.
Sounds like me getting out of a pool.
Me crawling out of the ocean.
Richard Majewski says, hi from London, third show today. I'm doing a great impression of the man without a life. Thank you, Richard. We appreciate it. If you had a life, I'd have one less person watching this show every day. So I appreciate you very much, Richard. Audrey Lynn Mezas. Ha ha, never boring with you, Ben. Greets from us here at Expat in Amsterdam. Hey, Richard. Now, Richard wants to know, is this software available in the UK?
We have UK clients, yes.
Is it the same software? Any differences? Or
It's the exact same software. The only thing that the UK gets that American companies don't is our special VAT tax module.
Okay.
It will take care of filing their tax returns for them.
Oh, wow.
They're required. I don't know if it's UK specific or a part of the UK where they're required to file their VAT tax returns from within the software that manages their accounting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It
So
used to be
you don't keep double books kind of thing?
Exactly.
Wow.
Like it used to be you just fill out the spreadsheet, send it off to them, and they fill out their returns. They don't let them do that anymore.
Right. It used to be you just keep 2 sets of books and then you show up on Pancake Tuesday and you get shriven. And then, you just keep it moving. But no, not anymore. I like it. So that's really cool, though.
Yep.
Another reason why
you need to be with us.
You need to be integrated.
That's right.
Wow. I'm learning all sorts of stuff I didn't know. Get it in the comments. I want to know who you are, where you are. If you think our hats are beautiful, ridiculous, absurd, throw an adjective in there.
Cool.
Or just super cool. Super cool. Stephen Hoffman, who it is? Thanks, Stephen. Always advancing the conversation. Please leave a comment or a question, something I can work with. Audrey, please tell us on this side of the pond what CHPA is all about. Robbie, you've been to how many CHPA conferences, would you say?
Just 2.
Just 2? All right, me too. So between the 2 of us.
For us, for us, it's about talking with all of the corporate housing providers.
Yep.
A lot of them are our clients, and some of them even use it as an opportunity where they can physically choke me for things that they're upset with.
Oh, that caught me off guard. I didn't know you were telling the jokes today. Look at this. You're a big guy. I mean, I'd pay money to see that.
I let him do it.
You let him do it. He's into that. All right. So Robbie comes here to get choked. This is great. No,
or cheered.
Or cheered. Choked or cheered.
I'm fine with
but nothing in the middle.
No.
All right. Because no one wants me to. Audrey, it's the Corporate Housing Providers Association, and it is an association for corporate housing. And let me ask you, what types of customers, what's an ideal customer for you, Robbie, that you come here to see? Who are you looking to meet? What types of companies?
Well, we have such a wide variety of the way people use our software.
Okay.
Most of them fall on the lines, well, just like half these people you see here, where they're managing relocations for other companies' employees, transfers, trainings, that sort of thing. But we also have clients that manage large numbers of employees, and they use, rather than it being an apartment complex, they might use a facility or a room or a home as their unit within our system, and they move their employees around. I don't want to give too many details away because we don't tell who our clients are, but they'll move them around different parts of the county or different parts of the state, and they'll bulk move employees all over the place.
Okay.
And because of the contracts that they have with their end clients, they're required to do accounting at an employee and location specific level.
Okay.
And most other providers, at least that I'm aware of, just can't do that sort of thing. And that's another thing that you just can't do in QuickBooks.
Yeah.
You just can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do that in QuickBooks. I have QuickBooks and you can't do that. You're right.
But we have clients that'll have as few as maybe 50 or 100 apartments under their wing to those that have over 20 some odd thousand.
Wow.
Yeah. So it all just depends.
Now in your software, can you look at like the profitability?
Sure.
So how much money? How much?
Of just about anything.
Yeah. So, okay. You know what? You haven't told us any of your clients. That's a policy. That's cool. Respect that. I want to ask. I know boundaries.
Okay.
Contrary to popular belief. So, what kind of profitability are these companies kicking off at the corporate house? What kind of margin do most corporate housing operators operate at? Since you guys have that kind of level of visibility.
Yes, we do have that kind of visibility, and I can't discuss that.
You can't discuss it. All right. Sounds good. That's fair. Hey, you know what? I try. You know what? You don't get in trouble if you don't answer the question, right? I just ask the questions over here.
I will tell you, some of them have to eat regularly at McDonald's.
Okay.
Others
okay.
probably haven't set foot in a McDonald's in decades.
Others own McDonald's.
Yeah, others own many of them.
There you go. I love it. People are enjoying your conversation so much here. John saying that you deserve some beads for that here.
Oh, there you go.
And we're gonna give you some here. This is I don't know if it's gonna fit over your head. No offense.
I do have a big head.
Oh my gosh, there it is. There he is. He's beaded.
Right.
He is beaded.
That's my first bead.
Is it really?
Yes.
You gotta get out more, man. There's a whole Bourbon Street, man. Have you had a chance to go and explore some of the city yet?
So we went down hoping to avoid the parades last night.
Oh, you
we went down to dinner.
Parade, yeah.
Well, we discovered that. We asked the cops for help to get around the parade, and they laughed at us for a few minutes, and then eventually pointed in a direction about a mile away.
Yeah, that's
because that was just chaos down there.
It's wild. Audrey saying, "Thanks for the explanation." Yes, they are. They are crazy. They are crazy, and I'm one of them. Let's see here. Richard's got a question here. Richard, always good for a question. Keep those questions coming here. We're here with Robbie over here, Software Answers. I'm just throwing out software questions over here, hoping to get some software answers. Richard says, does this corporate housing software integrate with relocation software? So relocation management companies have their own software that they use to manage, cases and things like that. And one of the issues that kind of continues to persist in our industry is the lack of interoperability and communication between the software of the vertical providers and relocation management companies that kind of sit over the top. What do you see as an opportunity to integrate those?
We have some custom integrations with SiteMinder, I can't remember the other one. I haven't worked on it for so many
do
years.
Custom integrations for some of your clients.
We do them in a couple of different ways. Some we write the code on our side to push data to and from the providers, and we also refer to them as aggregators. But if they're big enough and they can generate enough business for our clients, we'll take on writing and managing that sort of thing. The other is that for most of our clients, they purchase our API, and we offer a method by method or function by function licensing mechanism in our API, so that you as a provider can go to XYZ company and give them access to these 2 or 3 things or a dozen methods to pull data out, send data in without exposing your entire platform to an outside party. We do that with a couple of other vendors. We've written some custom exports for some vendors. We've written Outlook calendar exports that basically show the schedule board for not only availability, but any unit status blocks or something along those lines. We do all sorts of integrations with people.
Wow. So you do like a lot of custom software development on top of the off-the-shelf solutions.
You bet we do.
Very cool. Loving these questions. Keep those coming here. Really good stuff here.
But some of our customers who have APIs on both sides use it to transfer information between each other. Because one person may want to be the top level manager of a particular lease request, but the inventory is either managed or owned by another company. And they're able to share data back and forth via the API.
That's really where we have to go, because there's so many. And I think the corporate housing industry might be the worst violator of this. But there's so much just going back and forth, and people just pushing paper and pushing emails back and forth and playing multiple telephone games and multiple bid requests and just all this stuff. And we have to find a way for machines to do machine things and people to do people things in this business.
That is true, but I think the main obstacle you're going to find is not a technological obstacle.
Really?
Yes. Now, this may have changed in the last couple of years, but in most of my experience, one provider does not want the other provider to know what they have.
Oh, yeah.
Or how much business they're generating, or what properties they've chosen, where they've chosen them, what are their rates. They don't want to know.
Now, why do you think that is?
Fear.
What are they afraid of?
Well, if let's say I'm one of the big providers.
Yep.
And I got all kinds of money to come in and lowball property owners that you're doing your contracts with. These days, and again, I'm assuming it's still pretty much the same based on what we see.
Right.
Providers don't typically have long-term leases with an apartment unit.
Yep.
The leases are almost drawn up on the fly when the reservation's created. So it's a whole different world than it used to be.
Yep.
And in that space, if they can figure out that, hey, Rob's doing a bunch of reservations in this building or in this part of town, and I'm not, I'll come in, and I know what he's selling them for.
Yep.
I'll come in and undercut him and take his business from him. And because they don't have the lease long-term on a unit, they could get taken advantage of.
I see this all the time. I see relocation management companies or large bookers use a provider once or twice in a market, especially a hard to service market. And they figure out, oh, they're putting people up at the X property. And basically they're using these local operators to develop these properties in these markets for them. And then they swoop in and just basically undercut them or back solicit them.
Oh, that's been going on for years.
So I mean
that's just the industry.
Yeah. And when that happens, I mean, of course there's going to be a lack of transparency just as a matter of self-preservation, I would think.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's on the other hand, I mean, I'm over here saying we need more interoperability, we need more of this, we need more of that. Of course, clients are always asking for transparency and all this kind of stuff. But if we have those kind of business practices, I mean, you can't blame people for being guarded.
Now, to be clear, I'm not saying any of our clients do.
No. I mean, it's just the scuttlebutt.
Well,
just what we hear around the bar.
Well, Software Answers, before I got here, had attempted to create kind of a centralized marketplace for inventory that people could go to, find availability, and either book the apartment directly through our system, which would then feed into the clients, or we'd be able to pass that information off directly to the client and let them manage it. And one of the big things that we learned at that space is how few clients really felt comfortable participating. They were totally fine if no one else could see their inventory, but they didn't want to broadcast it. So it's a tough thing, right? How do you broadcast that you have an apartment or a home unit that's available without broadcasting it to the people you don't want to hear?
Yeah. How do you selectively broadcast?
That's right.
Tell me about it.
That's not an easy thing.
Well, you could block them on LinkedIn. I'm just kidding. We got Robbie Morris in here, Software Answers, having a great time here at the CHPA talking about the industry. Richard Majewski says, may I ask who uses the software? Corporates, I guess. Or so bookers or guests? Do booking agents also use the software? Do you white label perhaps? Chris, Richard, lots of questions there.
Yeah, that is a lot of questions. No, this software is used by the corporate housing providers themselves, not the end customers. And only to a limited degree do we expose a couple of modules for corporate housing providers' client base to interact in some fashion. For instance, our Oscar portal add-on that we give to people has a mechanism for clients to log on and look at their own reservations for their own employees and manage that sort of thing. But by and large, it's used by the corporate housing providing companies, their finance departments, and their sales and operations departments.
So if I wanted to start a corporate housing company in Dallas, Texas tomorrow, well, I'll be busy tomorrow, maybe next Monday. How would I be a good client prospect for you, or do you really work with companies of a certain size?
It all depends on how much money you have.
Say I have a lot of money.
All right. So if you have one apartment unit, or can at least pretend that you have one,
yes,
I'm happy to take your money.
Okay. You're happy to take my money.
We will get you set up tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I'm busy tomorrow and probably gonna be a little under the weather, but maybe next Monday.
You can do that.
All right. We'll get something on the books here. Look, we've got some questions coming in here. As we got Stephen Hoffman, we got Audrey coming in here from Amsterdam. Very interesting to hear this. We have changed our booking format to booking our CPH corporate housing directly with the apartment providers and therefore selectively book. Does this happen at all lately in the U.S.?
I don't see a lot of that. In part because as one of the things corporate housing providers do is they can help you avoid bad rental situations. Right? They know the property owners, they know the properties, they know the parts of town, they know the furniture providers. They're going to be able to get you the best rates on all of that stuff. Well, that's what these people do.
Let's ask Audrey, though, because she's in Amsterdam. Audrey, are you finding that apartments over there are already furnished? Is that why it's easy to just go direct to the apartment unit? Because here in the States, generally 99% of apartments are not furnished to the general public without having a corporate housing provider operating there.
Right.
So, I mean, that would make sense if maybe they're already furnished apartments out there going directly. I don't know.
Well, our folks do both. And then, of course, they also use the temporary rental agencies that work out really well for a lot of them. But it's not so much just whether the apartment's furnished or not. It's you're about to put an employee, in most cases, you're going to put an employee halfway across the country in an apartment unit that you know next to nothing about other than you saw it on Google and you read somebody's webpage. Corporate housing providers, they know what's there and can help you avoid those things.
Yeah. Yeah. She's, Audrey's saying, we use our own realtor team for this because 90% of the apartments here are furnished. That's what I suspect. And that's the difference in the European market, right? That's why, and that's also why the U.S. market is so hard to operate in. And frankly, why CHPA is needed to find operators, because these apartment operators are not furnishing these units already. So you need that layer of corporate housing in there to furnish it and to ensure the duty of care, and also kind of create the billing as well that they're expecting. Stephen Hoffman is jumping in here. Do you ever sell direct to customers, or is it always through the employee? We might have a way you could integrate. Stephen, I think you're with Deal. I believe you're still with Deal. If not, correct me, because I just put my foot in my mouth. Do you ever sell direct to customers, or is it always through the employee and our employer? Sorry, employer. We might have a way you could integrate with our marketplace, which serves customers directly. We have almost 300,000 of them. It's a little flex from Deal over there, a big PEO firm.
To make sure I understand their question right there, they're wanting to know, can individuals book these units?
I think, yeah. And also, does your software, can individuals use your software to find units? I think is really the assumption that's baked in there.
No. The way that would be presented to users today is that our clients would most likely use our API to extract that data and publish it on their own websites and provide their own search engines to provide the end customer whatever it is they felt comfortable providing. They might not want to provide all the details to the general public without first having met or talked with the individuals first.
Yeah, it makes sense. And Stephen corrects me. He is with Deal, but they're an EOR, an employer of record, not a PEO. Cool, Stephen. Yeah, I see where you're going, though. I mean, you're looking for a consumer marketplace to market, because he's got 300,000 employees who are these your own employees, Stephen, that you're thinking about, the employees of Deal, or are these the employees that are a part of the EOR program? I'm assuming it's the latter, but I don't actually know. There's a lot of things I don't know. Robbie, you ever have that feeling? Probably not you.
No, right
Me?
now. Right now.
All the time. He's like, I signed up for 10 minutes. I'm in this thing for 25. I'm over here just, espousing beliefs about things. Yeah, no, we don't know. We don't always know. Audrey says almost all of our clients leave their belongings behind, as often they have other properties abroad, which they may rent out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Again, it's different over there in the European market here, but yeah, this has been fun, man. I'm looking. You got dinner plans lined up tonight?
I don't know what we're doing.
I'll tell you what. It is hard to find a bad meal in this town.
Oh yeah,
everything's so good.
We went to kind of a Texas Day Brazil Frog something or other downtown. And
Fogo de Chao, maybe.
yeah, it was
Fogo
there.
de Chao.
Fogo-
Yeah.
I said frog, didn't I?
No, it's okay. Well, I got a Brazilian on my team, so she keeps us honest.
That's it. That's a great place to eat.
Oh yeah,
That food was wonderful.
yeah, it is wonderful. Have you had a chance to get any? You an oyster guy? You ever eat oysters, Robbie?
No.
He's not an oyster
No,
guy.
no.
What about crawdads? You ever had any crawfish?
I've eaten crawfish before, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Used to catch them as a kid.
There you go.
More fun doing that.
What about soft shell crab?
I love crab meat. I don't know if I've ever had a
soft shell crab po' boy, little remoulade sauce on a fresh French bread.
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh yeah, with that shredded lettuce all nice in there like that.
That sounds awesome.
Get a decent tomato. Forget about it. Forget about it. Jana, Adam, we got anybody else lined up today? Hey, Jana, we got anybody else lined up today? He's right over there. Go get him. Craig. We got Craig Parton over here. He's like far, far away. He's like right there. Yeah.
Well, before Craig gets here, if we've got anybody that's watching today that doesn't know, we're rewriting our Oscar Enterprise application into a web-based app, and this thing is smoking.
What's that about?
Our software was written in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? It does some amazing things, but it doesn't have modern usability functions to it. And it doesn't have the modern speed that goes. And there's actually a couple of extra features that we're putting in the app that are going to be a big deal to customers. But the web-based interface it's like driving a four-door sedan or getting a Ferrari. It's that big a difference.
I can't fit in it. Is what you're.
I'll make sure.
You'll make sure.
I'll make sure.
As long as I have enough money, he's gonna make sure I can fit in this.
That's right.
In this Ferrari he's got over there.
You'll learn that about us. We can accomplish just about anything.
You can accommodate me. I appreciate it
for the right amount of money.
We
can make it happen.
I like it. I like
smile
it.
On our
I think we need to get a Zoom call for Monday, so you can take all my money. No, I'm just kidding. Robbie, this has been a lot of fun. People are getting excited here. Stephen Hoffman saying, "Wait, is that software not saved on a floppy disk somewhere?" Yeah, Steve, that's a good one.
I think the original versions were.
Oh my gosh, on the big square ones are the ones that actually were floppy.
The floppy ones,
the actual floppies
back in the 80s.
Oh my gosh, Renee Stegman, great conversation. Renee, are you in Africa right now? Are you in South Africa? Look at all the countries we have represented here. We got Amsterdam, we got the Netherlands, we got South Africa, we got the UK. Steve Hoffman's in his own world. This is great. Steve Hoffman's everywhere. He can just employ people of record all over the globe. Richard Majewski says, looks pretty relaxed in the room. Is the whole conference like that? So plenty of space. Yeah, I mean, it's spacious. Things are happening here. We just had lunch. People are probably at the bar socializing right now.
That's where I should.
Sorry, Robbie. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut into your time there.
Cut into my mid-afternoon tea time.
This is great. Oh, Audrey says, enjoy your time on Frenchman. Yes, Audrey, we were there last night. It was absolutely epic. We've got Craig Parton coming on next. We got to make room for Craig.
All right.
Robbie, this is beautiful. Thank you. Have a good time out there.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do. All right. Come on over here. How you doing, Craig?
Good to see you.
Grab a seat. It's good to see you. Last time we did this virtually.
We did.
Got to get in there tight.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day when we couldn't do anything in person.
I know.
Yeah.
This is great having you here. Thanks for stopping by.
How's the conference for you?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, look at me.
The hat
the hat it's a bit much, but
No, the hat works.
It works, right? Just kind of have my flow. You want to get that?
The hat works.
You want to get in there real tight there. But yeah, it's like I got a golden mullet here. It's absolutely beautiful.
When I first saw those hats when we got here, I was like, that's epic.
Epically bad decision making. But you know what? If this is the worst decision you make all day, I feel like you're winning,
There you go. All right.
You're winning here in New Orleans. This is great. People are saying so jealous. Great conversation, guys, heading out. Hit that like button before you go. We got South Africa in the house.
Holy cow.
We got Netherlands in the house. Boston. Let us know where you're at. Check in here. We got Craig Parton from Sweet Home.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yep. Sweet Home's kicking it.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, what an all-star edition. I had Jen Breen on here earlier.
You did.
And I meant to congratulate her on wrangling you. You know, what a phenomenal addition to the Sweet Home team. So when did you join the team, Craig?
Yeah, so Jen and I have been friends, as you know, for forever, long
Yeah.
time. So we've been waiting for this moment to happen. I was gonna sort of leave the industry just and do something different.
Yeah.
She called up and said, "Hey, can you do a little bit of consulting?" And so we did that for a while, and then we sort of came to a decision. So I've been with him since late summer.
Yeah.
So it's
Very
been,
cool.
It's been good. Yeah, Jen is if anybody knows Jen, she's the most incredible human being.
She's
on the planet.
incredible. We love Jen, friend of the program, friend in real life.
Yep.
So, I mean, you don't just go out and get a guy like Craig Parton, you know, to just twiddle your thumbs and sit on your couch. I mean,
no.
What's Sweet Home going to be up to these days?
Yeah, so we're going to increase our U.S. footprint for sure.
Sure.
We concentrate on clients that book primarily within our core markets, which are Chicago, Wisconsin. We've got some stuff going on in Miami, but we'll go elsewhere for a client that books primarily in the core. We'll go other places. So we'll increase the footprint in that sense, building out a larger supply chain. So we got some exciting stuff.
That's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun.
So Jen always shared with me kind of like her, you know, comeuppance, you know, and how she kind of started, you know, just, I mean, doing everything, you know, doing what you do when you start a corporate housing company from the ground up, you know, and everything, and doing all that. And it always was Sweet Home Chicago, and then Milwaukee was an easy jaunt up there to Milwaukee, and maybe, you know, go down to Skokie or something and get crazy, right? But now when you're looking at now branching out and really doing something that is a hyper local business model, right? I mean, to be present, you know, in these different markets in a way that is in keeping with the brand, because I mean, I've stayed in Sweet Home Properties multiple times.
Phenomenal.
Literally my kid's favorite city to visit is Chicago, because of the amazing high rises down in the theater district and the views and the vistas, and you know, going to the, what is it, the is it the Heard Museum with the dinosaur or whatever? Anyway,
looking out at the lake.
I mean, so how do you maintain that, and how do you take that incredible brand feel that y'all have, and how do you replicate that in other cities?
It's based on people, right? But we definitely have no aspirations of being all things to all people.
Yeah.
So we will concentrate on a smaller number of markets. It'll be team members of our own on the ground. And our success right now is going to happen by taking people that are trained in the Sweet Home way of doing business, put them on their own assignments in corporate apartments.
I was going to say, it looks like relocation's going to start relocating some people.
There you go.
Yeah.
Here. So we'll put some people into some other markets.
Where are they going to live?
I know, right? We've got a spot. I got a spot in mind. Yeah. So we're excited to build our growth based on the people, the company that have built it for Jen and PJ for all these years.
Yeah, that's so cool. So how do you choose a market like that? I mean, we got Jen over here too. You can always phone a friend too. Jen's like, I did my time. I did my time. You're on the hot seat now.
I didn't realize she was standing there. Now I feel like I'm under
crept up out of nowhere, right?
She did. Yeah. She'll interject here in a second if I don't answer.
Yeah, but how do you select the market though? Because you got those markets, you got the Miami stuff you're doing, but how do you, you know, obviously, you know, picking those markets and executing is of paramount importance. So how do you do that? How do you select it? Is it something that your clients kind of inform and kind of give you a list and say, listen, we can do X amount of volume there? Or?
It's 100% driven by client demand. So we want to move where the clients that, you know and trust us starting in Chicago and then have grown with us. We want to go to where they need us to be. So we're not going to go into some of these markets and sell business in that market for that market. We're going to take our customers from Chicago into those markets.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's definitely driven by the client.
What are clients asking for? I know you're kind of done a lot of client. You're very client facing and have great relationships in this business. Well, you know, what are you hearing from clients out there?
It's a long story, but post COVID, right? It's a whole new ball game. We had gone through a period of time where people wanted, you know, one primary provider to help them globally. I think that, you know, most companies scale down so much their core inventory. And so it is a bit of a different game now. If you own inventory, you have a bit more of a power position than you had pre-COVID. But that comes kind of as a double-edged sword, because that also can mean more pressures that are coming at you. But I think the industry's at an inflection point where if we don't learn to partner even more strategically, it will damage our industry's sort of respect within the entire relocation and travel worlds.
Yeah, I can see that. And I see what you're saying too about like going from, it's kind of a pendulum that swings, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it feels like, you know, at one point it was about having those local localized supply chains and relationships. I mean, literally, I know people that would, go and they take out, corporate relocation folks, or whatever department they happen to sit in, we go and take out at least locally.
Yep.
And their people stay there, and that's where they stay, and they manage it, and they're literally getting cable boxes and now Fire Sticks and whatever, right?
Yep.
I mean, literally, I talked her through going from cable box and cutting the cord to Fire Stick, right? And then they swing into, oh no, we just want one hand to shake, at least nationally or maybe globally, whatever. And now it feels like, to your point, it's kind of swinging back in the other direction. We're like, whoa. We lost some control. We lost some visibility. We're paying a lot. For that one hand to shake.
There's a layer. I mean, I think there's room for all of us for sure, right? I think a lot of it depends on the size of the client, what's the size of their program, how many people are they moving, how many people do you have on the client side that can manage the process. So I think that there is room for all of us. This is my first year starting on the board of directors for CHPA. I think we've got some really incredible initiatives that have to do with maybe even creating more space within the organization for other layers of types of companies, whether it be, platforms or agencies or, the provider that can sign leases. There's room for all of us, but figuring out how we sort of particularly make all of that mesh together in the most cohesive way for the client is going to be something that's fun to work out. And I think there's a huge opportunity for us as an industry to eliminate noise where we're not all bidding, 10 of us bidding on the same quote.
Oh, but it's so fun.
Nah, yeah, it's not.
No,
It's
literally
not.
half the tears
Yeah.
at
Absolutely.
the bar are about that process alone, right?
And it's not that anyone doesn't want to serve anyone or partner with anyone. It's just
it's
we
just
don't.
a lot.
It's an operational expense that doesn't need to happen. And
It's just a lot.
what's the fix? Whoever comes up with that $1 million answer,
$1 billion answer, right?
Yep,
It's just a lot of effort, right?
Yeah.
And it's really hard to execute in the United States.
It is indeed.
Right. Where a lot of this inventory, yes, it's core, but it doesn't exist until it's needed.
Right.
Because that's a good way to go out of business quickly.
It sure
right.
is.
And so people aren't just walking around with empty apartments like la-di-da, so
the number
hard.
of us though that the number of us that keep larger numbers of core inventory, that is a dwindling number of companies that do that. So it's going to create a different kind of process for us to get to the end user.
You know what? As I say that, Sweet Home has always had me an apartment in Chicago,
and we always
will. I never provide adequate notice, and they always take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I love y'all to death for it. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are operators out there that have, some inventory, but yeah, the process of reaching out for all and servicing all these quotes.
Yeah.
And it's just really tough. The model. It's a really tough model.
Indeed.
We got people checking in here. If you got questions or comments for Craig Parton of Sweet Home, get in there. Richard Majewski says, fascinating insights, Craig. Really interesting. Great questions, Ben. Wow.
You did a great job.
Golly. I don't want to start setting expectations here, but I'm getting the hang of this.
There you go. And you've asked how many questions today? About 4 million?
Yeah, I think this is my last question.
How long have you been on?
I've had 3 different Love and Relo sessions today, and I moderated a panel.
And you still have a voice.
And I didn't think I would. I was screaming on Frenchman Street last night, ringing in Mardi Gras at midnight.
That was you?
You heard me from here?
I did. Yeah, I was in bed by 9.
And I woke you. And there was a noise complaint in the hotel here.
Yeah, it was me.
For me screaming on Frenchman Street.
Yeah, but you had a good time.
Well, thanks for snitching on me.
John
saying that's a common theme. Yes, it is common. Multiple temp living partners bidding on the same unit. Yeah, for sure.
We will find a way. It's communication amongst all the providers to be able to say in an honest and true fashion, I already got that direct from the client or from the RMC. So therefore, there's no need for you to spend time.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that the Sweet Home does particularly well, Jen and now you, one of the things Sweet Home does particularly well.
She's over there.
No, is always showing up to events like this, Worldwide ERC, Midwest Relocation Conference, being involved, being on the board level, and representing the brand. So people see the value in having the direct relationship and having the, being able to call Jen or now yell at you or something if they need to, not that they need to, But, you know, having that direct relationship, and, you know, when you show up, you differentiate yourself. When you don't show up, you're asking to be kind of commoditized, and
that's what we all have to stop, because the commoditization of our industry, you know, margin can only go down so much until there is none. So
we have to start showing up. We have to be present at events like CHPA, like Worldwide ERC, like EURA, like all these events, like Midwest Relocation Conference. Jen's doing a phenomenal job of planning.
She is indeed. We're over 300 people now. Well, I don't even know it. 320, probably since you were on earlier today. It's probably.
Have y'all sold out?
Yeah, getting close to selling.
Have you sold out the hotel block?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You can still get there. You just got to pay a little more for the room.
I know.
But it'll be worth it, right?
I know.
Supporting our
How many
industries.
sweet home rooms are being used at the Midwest?
We're 100%
like,
that day.
She's like, don't. She's like, cut. We're done here. Yeah. And we're done.
Yeah. Chicago's not a city where you do 2-night stays, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Corporate housing.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah. It's not that place. You know, supporting the industry, I appreciate you being here too, because this is something that if we don't all come together and not just support our own financial success, but also the success of the industry, it's not going to continue. So
I love it. Yeah, you're very welcome. It's really been a blessing and honor to be here. With that, and with this point, Richard says I've grown a beard during the time Ben's been on today. All right, Richard, I got it. I can take a hint. Okay.
Nice,
I'm a little obtuse, but I can take a hint.
Nice.
Craig, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to everybody who tuned in thrice today. Hit that like button, get in the comments. We really appreciate you. We're having a blast here at the Corporate Housing Providers Association conference here in New Orleans at the Hyatt Regency. I want to thank Marianne Passy and the whole CHPA staff. They've been absolutely phenomenal. We're here at booth 803. If anybody wants to come see the Glomo team. And thanks for everybody for supporting what we're doing here on Love and Relo. Take care, everyone, and we will catch you next time.